How to fix AMD Radeon driver version 0.0.0.0 error in Battlefield 1. Welcome back to Teknobalta. Today, we are tackling a critical DirectX detection issue that prevents Battlefield 1 from launching on modern graphics cards, like the Radeon RX 7700 XT. Our team investigated why the game engine misreads installed driver packages and throws a false version 0.0.0.0 error window. In this comprehensive deep dive guide, we will walk you through every proven diagnostic and repair procedure to get your system back onto the battlefield running smoothly. Understanding the DirectX driver detection failure. During our investigation, we discovered that the Frostbite engine sometimes fails to query the Windows registry correctly for active display adapters. When this happens, the launcher assumes no valid AMD driver is installed and defaults the read version to 0.0.0.0. This blocking mechanism stops execution immediately to prevent perceived graphical instability or hardware damage. Identifying hardware conflicts with integrated GPUs. Our testing showed that processors featuring integrated graphics often conflict with dedicated Radeon graphics cards during initial API handshakes. The game engine mistakenly reads the inactive integrated GPU's driver state instead of the primary graphics card. Resolving this hardware priority mismatch is the most critical first step in eliminating launch failures. Disabling integrated graphics via Device Manager. To stop the engine from reading the wrong display adapter, open Device Manager and expand the Display Adapters section. Right-click on the integrated AMD Radeon entry and select Disable Device, so only your dedicated GPU remains active. This forces the operating system and game client to direct all hardware queries to the correct graphics card. Rerouting display cables to the dedicated graphics card. We noticed that many systems experience this error because secondary monitors are plugged directly into motherboard HDMI or DisplayPort connectors. You must connect every display cable directly to the rear I/O ports of your discrete graphics card. This physical rerouting ensures the dedicated GPU handles all rendering pipelines and driver identification requests. Disabling integrated graphics permanently in BIOS. For a permanent fix, restart your system and enter the UEFI BIOS setup by pressing the Delete or F2 key during startup. Navigate to the Advanced or Configuration menu, locate the integrated graphics setting, and change its state to Disabled. Saving these changes ensures the integrated processor GPU stops drawing power, generating heat, or causing API detection conflicts. Preparing your system for clean driver removal. Attempting to overwrite damaged driver packages without cleaning leftover files often causes stability issues, including pink or blue screen crashes. Teknobalta's analysis revealed that remnants of older driver files corrupt Windows registry keys used by game launchers. We strongly recommend using Display Driver Uninstaller to completely wipe existing display configurations before reinstalling anything. Booting Windows into safe mode for the execution. To ensure third-party applications do not lock active display files, restart Windows into safe mode before running any removal tools. Open your system configuration panel, navigate to the Boot tab, check Safe Boot, and apply your settings. Operating in safe mode guarantees that background services will not interfere with the driver purge process. Performing a clean wipe with Display Driver Uninstaller. Once in safe mode, launch Display Driver Uninstaller and select GPU as your device type, followed by AMD from the vendor list. Click the Clean and Restart button to allow the software to remove all folders, registry entries, and driver store files. This completely resets your display architecture to a fresh, factory default state. Upgrading to the recommended AMD software release. Our technical team confirmed that updating to AMD Software Adrenalin Edition 26 1. One or newer permanently resolves the version 0.0.0.0 bug. Download the official installer directly from the manufacturer website and select a full install to replace missing runtime libraries. Avoid using Windows Update for this installation, as it frequently installs incomplete driver packages. Selecting WHQL certified drivers over beta releases. When downloading software updates, always prioritize WHQL certified releases over optional or experimental beta builds. WHQL certification ensures the graphics driver has passed rigorous Microsoft compatibility testing for proper application reporting. Installing stable, verified releases prevents random crashes and stops game launchers from misreading driver versions. Recovering from installation crashes with System Restore. If a failed driver installation causes continuous blue screens or system freezes, use the Windows System Restore utility to recover your PC. Press Windows and R, type rstrui in the Run dialog, and press Enter to open the Restore Point Manager. Reverting your operating system to a previously functional timestamp restores core display services without losing personal files. Using Windows Automatic Repair for boot failures. Should your PC fail to boot normally after an unsuccessful graphics driver flash, allow Windows to trigger its automatic repair environment. Select Advanced Options, navigate to Troubleshoot, and run the Startup Repair tool to scan and fix broken system files. This automated recovery process repairs corrupted bootloaders and stabilizes display adapter initialization, resolving pink screen display artifacts. If your monitor displays a solid pink screen after applying a driver update, the output color format is likely misconfigured. Open the AMD software interface, navigate to Display Settings, and change the pixel format from YCBCR to standard RGB 4:4:4. This correction stabilizes the video signal between your graphics card and monitor, eliminating abnormal color casts. Managing multi-monitor configurations safely. When running multi-monitor setups, ensure all secondary displays share compatible refresh rates and resolution scaling settings in Windows. Unplug secondary screens temporarily during your initial Battlefield 1 launch, so the Frostbite engine detects only the primary gaming monitor. Once the game successfully registers the correct driver version, you can safely reconnect your additional displays. Clearing the Frostbite engine cache files. Corrupted local cache files can trap outdated hardware configurations, causing the game to report the 0.0.0.0 error even after updating drivers. Navigate to your Documents folder, locate the Battlefield 1 directory, and delete the entire Settings subfolder to reset configuration profiles. Next time you launch the game, it will generate fresh settings and correctly identify your graphics card. Verifying game file integrity via your client. Missing or modified game executable files can also cause driver detection scripts to fail during startup checks. Open your Steam or EA app library, right-click Battlefield 1, and select the option to verify or repair installed files. This process scans your installation directory and automatically redownloads any damaged DirectX redistributable components. Modifying executable properties for high DPI scaling. Sometimes Windows display scaling interferes with how full-screen applications read display hardware capabilities. Right-click the main Battlefield 1 executable file, open Properties, navigate to the Compatibility tab, and click Change High DPI Settings. Check the box to override high DPI scaling behavior and assign the scaling performance to Application for proper driver detection. Disabling background, overlays, and monitoring tools. Third-party overlays from software like Discord, Steam, or performance monitoring tools can intercept graphics API calls and trigger launch errors. Disable all in-game overlays and close background monitoring applications before launching Battlefield 1. Removing these software hooks allows the Frostbite engine to communicate directly with your AMD driver without interruption. Optimizing power management for maximum performance. Windows power-saving modes can temporarily throttle discrete GPUs during application startup, causing driver version checks to time out. Open the Windows Control Panel, select Power Options, and activate the High Performance or AMD Ryzen Balanced Power Plan, ensuring continuous, full power delivery to your graphics hardware prevents sleep state detection failures, maintaining long-term system and driver stability. To prevent similar DirectX detection bugs in the future, keep both your motherboard chipset drivers and Windows operating system fully updated. Regularly check the official AMD support portal for new Adrenalin Edition releases that address game-specific compatibility issues. Following these maintenance practices ensures maximum stability and peak performance across all your favorite titles. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.